All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's cheer league match between Red Star Missile and Albeit Boss. So, just a quick bit of background on both these teams. Red Star Missile, it is captained by one of the former members of my old team, the Tiny Fuppets. It is captained by Wolf. And I'm just learning tonight that they have another former The Tiny Fuppets member, Milkman, will be on the team. So, a couple people I used to play with on that team, and that's pretty cool. I was also talking to the members of Albeit Boss. I was really wanting to know what is the issue? Like what does that name mean? What's the deal with that? Uh, basically, they told me like the four of them they were in a quick match with some other guy. Basically, like they wiped the team. They're going core, and the fifth guy is like, "You guys want to go win? Whatever, Albeit Boss." Uh, and then he tried to solo the boss on his own and died. So he died the boss like 3 times, but anyway, I thought that was a pretty funny name for a pretty funny name for a team. So definitely cool to see. But we're gonna get the draft started here in just a little bit. In fact, I think we're pretty much good to go here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the draft links out. So let's see here. Just give me 1 second while I go ahead and give these out. But yeah, I don't think these are bleh, if I could speak. I do think they're both I do think these are both good teams. Looking forward to seeing a good match tonight. Wolf has certainly assembled a very strong team. Looking forward to seeing how they do tonight. But Red Star Missile has readied up. Let's just go ahead and switch on over to... Still paranoid about having my microphone muted. But let's go ahead. The draft has now been readied by both teams, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So Li Ming is banned out first by Red Star Missile. Going to see if Tracer gets banned out by Albeit Boss. I think in true team name fashion, should they wipe the team, but one guy should just stay back and try and solo the boss while the other four push core. But KT is banned out by Albeit Boss, so it's basically guarantees. I was gonna say Tracer for Red Star Missile, but it is going to be Falstad who's picked up by Red Star Missile. This is Sky Temple. This is a large map, a map where global mobility is very important. But we actually see Zul and Zagara picked up both by Albeit Boss. Now, these are both strong specialists, but wouldn't expect to see them together necessarily. But they're certainly going to have very strong push power. And they're still both very strong in team fights. But interesting that they would pick up both of them. Maybe they're going to go all specialists and try and push core right at the beginning of the game. Who knows? Who knows? But Illidan's still on the table. Tracer is still on the table. But they decided to go with Rhaegar, so not only do they have a global mobility assassin, one of the best in the game, but they also pick up probably the strongest support in the game. They're also going to grab Jaina. So with both Li Ming and KT being banned out, Jaina is pretty much the only burst... I don't know if she's the only burst assassin in the game, but she's definitely the only mage left in the game. So Red Star Missile wisely decides to go ahead and snatch her up. But ETC, I was just going to say, I might end up seeing her paired up with ETC. Because Moshpit, one of the best setups to Ring of Frost. The other being Devouring Maw, but Zagara's already picked up. But that's not going to be an option because ETC is going to be banned out by Albeit Boss. So who does Red Star Missile ban out here? It's really hard to say. Could maybe ban out Tracer, but it's, with Zul and Zagara being picked up, not really learning too much about their comp. But is going to be Morales banned out? I don't think Morales is like a crazy strong healer, but for some reason, a lot of people just don't want to play against her. And she really does seem to be getting getting a lot of respect in terms of bans. Not only in this particular match, but also Hero League, just all across the board. I will always talk about Tracer. That character is so OP. Oh my god. It blows my mind how she's not been picked at all tonight. But Uther going to be picked up as the support for Albeit Boss. Don't know if they had to pick him up quite so early. Red Star Missile, they've already banned out of support and picked one of their own, so there was no danger of Uther being snatched up. But maybe they want to save some information about their comp. But Raynor is going to be the last pickup for Red Star Missile. So really a lot in terms of damage on their team. They have Falstad, they have Raynor, they have Jaina. So really going to be able to put out a lot of damage. And they have Johanna, who does pair up nicely with Rhaegar. But so really no true assassins for Albeit Boss just yet. I mean, Zul can definitely put out a lot of damage. Zagara can put out a lot of damage. But mostly their abilities are in pushing, not necessarily team fighting. But there's definitely still some strong assassins on the table. Greymane. I don't know if I've mentioned Tracer yet, but she's available. Throwing that in there just for Kargai. Anyway, Illidan is still available too. So really a lot of choices, but down to 16 seconds for Albeit Boss. Maybe they want someone who could. It is Tracer! It is Tracer! Finally! Finally she's picked. The very last pick in the very last draft that I'm casting tonight. Finally she's picked. I think I can die happy now. You know, it's not particularly that I've been wanting to see her. It's just I'm more surprised than anything. I'm just surprised that she wasn't picked up earlier. She does seem very strong. And I don't think a lot of people necessarily know how to play against her. So they gives you some element of surprise. Some element of lack of preparedness on the side of the other team. Alright, but everyone is already up, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Alright, it is going to be the Captain Wolf on Rhaegar, who is a Spirit Wolf, so that makes sense. Verlust on Falstad, Deathpone on Raynor, Azure Zataku on Jaina, and Milkman on Johanna. And Wacky Funster is going to be on Zul. The Captain Chalu Paul on Muradin, Sir 3 on Zagara, Fallen BOA on Tracer, and finally Wilk on Uther. So, you know, I really do think there's a lot of damage on the side of Albeit Boss. I mean, Tracer alone can really put out a ton of damage. Oops. I was just saying how I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to let that happen again. There it goes. Excuse me. Tracer can certainly put out a ton of damage. Zagara and Zul can definitely put out a lot of damage as well. And then you have Muradin and Uther who can really shut down someone like Raynor, someone like Falstad. Let's see. Waiting to see what Rhaegar goes with. So far looking like the Piano Uther build from Uther. But the Watchtower are going to be picked up very quickly by Falstad and then immediately reclaimed by Albeit Boss. Who are not at the boss right now, but of course they can't until the 2-minute mark, but anyway. So it's looking like Jaina is going to be the bottom laner. She can definitely clear out the waves pretty quickly, but in terms of being a lane bully, somebody who could really harass someone in the lane, it's not really something she has in her kit. Zagara, for instance, can just really put down the hunter killers and really force someone back. Otherwise, they're going to take a lot of damage. But surprising to see Blizzard go down on just those 2 minions there. But see, even while Jaina was putting all of her spells on Zagara, that hunter killer was just sitting there, just beating on her, and so she's awfully low as a result. Zagara can put down the creep tumors and heal up, but Jaina does not have that. Does not have that luxury. So it's looking like the temples are coming up. It's looking like Raynor maybe thinking about coming down and ganking Zagara. If he has his penetration shot, he might be able to push her down there, but may have already used it. But it's looking like Raynor is going to just swap up for Jaina. Then Jaina's probably going to go contest the temple. So far, the first temple is going to go firmly under the control of Albeit Boss. And Rhaegar going to start on the top temple. So far, a pretty even trade. Both teams do seem to be content to do this. Slight XP lead in terms of Albeit Boss, but otherwise nothing too major. Now, Albeit Boss, they don't have anyone soaking the top lane. Whereas Red Star Missile, they do have someone soaking all 3 lanes. They have Raynor at the bottom, Falstad in the middle lane. As long as they manage to, if any of these minions die before she gets there, I think she's gonna get there just in time. So, don't think they lost much in terms of XP. So they got Zagara in the bottom lane. Actually, they're going to go ahead and pick up the siege camp right now. But they've got Zul in the top lane. So don't think they lost much in terms of XP. So they got Zagara in the bottom lane. Actually, they're going to go ahead and pick up the siege camp right now. But they've got Zul in the top lane. And Zul's already gotten his lane, thanks to the top temple being picked up by Red Star Missile. He's already gotten his lane picked up a little bit, but fortunately Raynor falls in the bottom lane. Not sure what happened there. Looks like maybe an aggressive, maybe an aggressive play by Myrddin. And speaking of aggressive plays, they're going to go ahead and pick up the siege camp of Red Star Missile as well. You know, it's hard to tell if I'm like the super zoomed out or the only a little bit zoomed out. It's just not much of a difference. So when I go to toggle, it's sometimes I don't realize which one I'm in. But Wolf in some trouble. You know, one of the things about Tracer, she really has the ability to chase someone down because she can basically run and attack at the same time. She really has the ability to chase people down, and then with her recall and other little teleporty abilities, if she's chasing a little bit too far, she can just get right out of there. So, Albeit Boss choosing not to boss. Why would they? It's only 4 minutes into the game. But it's like there's going to be a fight over the bottom temple. Tracer going to blink out of there. Don't know if that's the name of it, but for right now. But so far this fight looks like it's going in the favor of Red Star Missile. They're all very healthy at the moment. Whereas Zagara getting awfully low. Blizzard almost finishes her off, but Zagara is going to have to Hearth. And I would imagine that this bottom temple goes over to Red Star Missile, at least for the time being. But no, they're actually choosing to back off. And 3 on 5, or sorry, 4 on 5. Albeit Boss trying to take the temple. Yeah, so even though Zagara had to Hearth all the way back, Red Star Missile unable to take advantage of that. Both teams still pretty even in terms of XP. We actually did see the top fort fall as a result of the camp. So far this stalled fight has gone in favor of Red Star Missile. Although if they completely lose on the temple, that may not be the case. Azure Taku in a lot of trouble, but is going to get out of there. I thought Tracer might chase her down, but not going to be the case. So, I mean, fairly surprisingly, all of the temple shots end up going over to, or at least almost all of them, go to the side of Albeit Boss. Albeit Boss who are not a boss. Now we see Zul returning to his top lane, which has really gotten pushed in. As a specialist player, I always hate it when that happens. It's like I have this nice beautiful lane and then the map objective comes up and it just gets destroyed. But Red Star Missile, they're going to go ahead and pick up the Sea Giant Cap. Zagara thinking about invading, but 1 on 3, that's... She's lucky that she didn't get blown up for that. And unfortunately for her, she wasted Devouring Maw, which means it's going to be down for, I believe, 120 seconds. Something really long like that. Maybe 100 seconds. But the bottom lane is in some real trouble. And they're going to get pushed back. So maybe more of a defensive, but a big Stormbolt goes down by Chelu Paul. But not going to catch Wolf. Rhaegar thinks to be able to stay in his Wolf form. Basically being able to stay mounted after he gets hit. Very difficult hero to chase down. Gonna get pushed back. So maybe more of a defensive, but a big Stormbolt goes down by Chelu Paul. But not going to catch Wolf. Rhaegar thinks to be able to stay in his Wolf form. Basically being able to stay mounted after he gets hit. Very difficult hero to chase down. They're actually thinking about picking the boss. Okay, maybe someone accidentally aggroed the boss and... Now this is really smart. They're finishing off the fort before taking the temple shots, which means that the temple shots are going to focus on a higher priority target. One of the other forts, perhaps a keep wall, but all forts have to go down first before they're going to do that. Neither both teams content to trade at the temples. Still pretty close in terms of XP. A fort just did go down in favor of Albeit Boss, so we did see a bit of a spike there. But we could see that same spike go over in favor of Red Star Missile once this fort goes down. And boom. So now both teams are fairly even. But level 13 going to be picked up first for Albeit Boss. Which means in addition to being up a level, they're also going to be up a talent tier. So Albeit Boss, they wanted to invade that temple, get the last few shots, but unfortunately not quite getting there in time. And all of these shots are going to go in favor of Red Star Missile. Meanwhile, the Bruiser camp going to be picked up. Gonna keep that top lane pushed out. It's only gonna help protect that top fort, which is barely hanging on by a thread. Otherwise, not too much. Rhaegar may be in a bit of trouble here. The totem does go down, but a big Mighty Gust comes down by Verlust, and that is going to keep him safe. You know, Rhaegar does have the ability to run away while in his wolf form, and have that not be interrupted, but Chaser can also run and attack, so... That's not something that Tracer particularly minds. But Falstad looking at like he has his sights set on Zagara. I believe Gus is down, but Gus not needed. She is going to fall. And unfortunately for Zagara, the Devouring Maw did not only did it not save her life, but now that's on cooldown for a long time. So even though she's going to be up in about 30 seconds or so, well, at the time of the kill, it's still going to be another minute or so after her resurrection. But meanwhile, very aggressive play trying to take the boss by Albiette Boss, who was at the boss for the first time, but they were trying to take it 4-on-5, trying to sneak it. And Red Star Missile, they may decide, you know what, we're just playing it to take it. You know, we have a 5-on-4 situation, and you guys have done us a great service by whittling it down. But yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, even if it was looking close, Falstad does have the ability to gust everyone away and take the boss. So unfortunately for Albiette Boss, that is dreadful timing because they have to spend this time cleaning up the boss and basically give up probably both temples, or at least the lion's share of both of the shots. So, unfortunately for them, I mean, just that maybe a little bit too aggressive shot calling really put them in a hole. But Red Star Missile, they're being scared off of this. So, unfortunately, they got the boss, but it was blown up so quickly that they're not getting too much value out of it. They're largely having to settle for a trade on the temples. Now, level 16 has been picked up by Albiette Boss. But level 16 now, picked up by Red Star Missile as well. But Zul is going to be able to get away. Milkman comes in with the big condemn. Unfortunately for him, Divine Shield went down, and that is going to prevent anyone from being killed. But unfortunately, Raynor. Wow. So far, a 4-for-0 trade in terms of Albiette Boss, and poor Milkman running for his life on Johanna. And he is not going to get away. So they went up there to try and gank both Zul and Zagara, but ended up completely backfiring on them. That I really think that big Divine Shield it came down from Chalupal really made a big difference. Really swung that fight. Because instead of Red Star Missile getting the pick, they basically blew all their cooldowns and didn't get the kill, and then they were kind of spent at that point. But Albiette Boss, they wisely take advantage of that and go ahead and take the keep. I'm glad to see that aggressive play. A lot of teams will play it safe and just get a camp or something, and really that's not the right thing to do. You really want to be much more aggressive than that. You want to go pick up the keep. Anytime you can take a keep, you want to do that. Much higher priority than something like piddly little camp. But we do see the next temple coming up in the bottom lane. Both teams trying to pick up whatever camps they can to push out the lanes while the temple is active. I was looking that's going to go slightly in favor of Red Star Missile. They got their bruisers going up at the top. And they also have their own sieges pushing against the siege giants of Albiette Boss. So those will kind of cancel each other out. But meanwhile, the temple is up and down a level and a half. This is going to be tough for Red Star Missile. Jaina looked like she was going to be deleted, but a gigantic Ancestral Healing comes down from Wolf. That's going to keep her alive. Zagara in a lot of trouble. The Divine Shield is going to keep her up in the meantime, but she is awfully low. And Tracer is going to use her insane jukes to, I think, get out of there scot-free. Oh, but Verlus does a great job. Manages to snag her with the Hammering. This is huge for Red Star Missile. I'm not sure if they know. Yeah, they're going to get Zul before he can hearth away. So far that is a 2-for-0 trade. And that is getting them right back into this. Everyone awfully low here in the bottom. Jaina and Falstad both very low. Rhaegar may want to come heal them. And I think he is. Oh no, never mind. The temple's all done, so they can go to other things. Would have maybe liked to seen them pick up the ball. Oh, never mind. Boss won't be up for another 15 seconds. But this is a little risky. I mean, it would be a 3-on-3, them trying to attack the keep. So they're wisely choosing to back off. Falstad could fly in and make it a 4-on-3, but probably not enough of an advantage. But we're seeing the boss started by Red Star Missile. I don't know about this. You know, this is a throw pit waiting to happen. They're down a level and a gigantic talent tier advantage. But Mighty Gust goes down by Verlust, and despite them losing Jaina, they managed to pick it up. So that big play by Verlust managed to secure them the boss. But you know, I don't think it's wise to stay here and fight this. They're kind of pushing their luck. They're lucky to have only lost one member, and Johanna does not have her level 20 talent. So if she runs out of life here, yeah, she's going to go down. Yeah, so far that's a 2-for-0 trade. Don't think Albeit Boss can continue to push that. They've really got to. This late into the game, you really can't ignore a boss. They weren't going to be able to go core, so they wisely choose to back off and go burn that boss down. I don't think the boss is going to get the keep. Oh, it might. If that hit goes down, oh wow, the hit goes down right before it can be finished off. And that keep goes down. Not sure if that attack has an official name or anything, but ground slam, I don't know. But meanwhile, we do have temples that are activating in the middle and top lane. So this is, you know, we're basically pretty even on structures right now. It's 1 keep to 1. And pretty even in terms of both teams on the same talent tier. I would think there would be a slight advantage in terms of Red Star Missile. They don't have 2 specialists on their team, and specialists tend to be, I think, a little better earlier in the game. But we don't see anyone taking the top temple. We saw Jaina pick up steal the Siege Giants. So those are going to be pushing against the core. Yeah, and you know what? They actually took both sets of Siege Giants. So these are stacking up on top of each other. Those have the ability to really burn down the core. So while Albeit Boss goes back to deal with that, they have the ability to go top and really contest this top temple. But unfortunately for them, while they were not contesting the middle temple, both keeps went down, so they're really going to be in a hole for the rest of the game. Now, it's nice that they were able to pick up the lion's share of the shots from this top temple, but I don't know. I don't know if that was worth giving up both keeps for. And meanwhile, these top shots are just now getting to the keep. Still a lot of structures to go through. Had to get through cannon towers, had to get through the wall. Meanwhile, Jaina is in some trouble here. But luckily for her, she's not going to be ganked. The rest of the team had backed, so Albeit Boss, they did not have good vision of where everyone else was. So didn't want to risk trying to gank Jaina and then have the rest of the team come out and deal with them. So Red Star Missile, I mean, they're still in quite some trouble here. They don't have any keeps left. They're going to have catapults pushing on all 3 lanes. They only have the 1 keep down in their favor. But they're going to have to worry about the middle and bottom lanes for the rest of the game. We're late enough that 3 lanes of catapults coming up on your core could really burn it down quickly and really come in and surprise you. So, going to have to be careful. Going to have to keep their guard up. Ah. Yeah, we see Jaina and others just doing a lot to try and push these waves out. So here we go. This is probably going to be the last set of temples for the game. We see, hey, this is very in favor of Albeit Boss. They only really have to control one of the temples, and they can control the top one. And they have the watchtower. Whereas, is Red Star Missile thinking about just pushing core? They might think this is their only chance. Zagara has definitely wised up to it. Everyone is hearthing back except for Zul. So this is going to be a 5-on-4 on the core. I don't think this is going to work out. Yeah, Ice Block goes down by Jaina. The Gust goes down to try and save her, but it's not going to be enough. Rhaegar is going to fall as well. And Raynor almost certainly going to fall. And I believe that is going to be GG. That is going to be game. It was a really ballsy, gutsy call, but unfortunately they showed themselves to some of the minions. And that gave 4 of the members enough time to come back and deal with the backdoor attempt. And unfortunately it was not enough. Plus the core was also healthy enough that it was, they weren't going to have enough time to get it all the way down. You know, if the core only had like 10%, 20%, 30%, they could have maybe bursted it down quickly enough that they could have gotten it to 0 before the rest of the team showed up and dealt with them. But fortunately the core was at 100% and they were unable to get the full thing down. So yeah, so I mean, rough loss for Red Star Missile, but yeah, there were some good plays all around. A lot of great gusts, a lot of great ganks on Zagara and others, but fortunately they just fell behind in that mid to late game, and on that map it's very difficult to recover from that. Because they were behind, they had to try something really risky, like push core when it's still 100%. Yeah, I mean, they were basically not in any kind of position where they could just go, oh, let's just take the temple, let's play it safe. If they had done that, they would have lost the game outright. So they had to go and try something. And unfortunately, not surprisingly though, that did not work out. But congratulations to Albeit Boss. They were a boss for some of that game, but they did not send 4 members to push core while having one guy try to go solo the boss. So I am disappointed, but anyway, well, unfortunately, that is going to do it for me for tonight. I'm going to be back tomorrow night with a couple more matches. Not sure when those are exactly. I can look it up, but you know what? Just subscribe, and then you'll know. So how about that? How about that for a slick plug of the channel? So, but anyway, I thank you guys for watching. Once again, congratulations to Albeit Boss. And I will hope to see you guys again tomorrow night. So, thank you.